So while we're on the topic of women's wrestling, I know this is gonna suck the joy right out of you. So while we're on the topic of women's wrestling, Ronda Rousey apparently had a lot to say. Um,
Like, why does it come up vibe like that? Why did you have to come up vibe like that?
Bro, that was perfect. So Ronda Rousey had a lot to say. I don't know if it was a stream or if it was an interview with this past week. She spoke out regarding her botch at the Survivor Series Premium Live event. She also talked about coming back to put over the younger talent. Wanted to know how you felt about that explanation, how you felt about kind of like what she had to say as it pertained to wrestling and that match and that botch. I want to know it all, so just tell me.
I can't with this bitch. I can't. I went off last week about her and her negligence and I actually applauded her in the beginning of her run, but she just progressively gets lazier and lazier and lazier. And that was just a lazy behind answer. She was just laughing through it. She was laughing through her whole explanation. She literally took accountability for, yes, that she botched and she fucked it up. But it was like, her excuses was, oh, I wanted to practice it at my ring, but the ropes was too loose, and we wanted to practice it there, but then this thing happened, and it's just like, you come from a company that has a performance center. Let's start there. B, I understand you guys are on the road, but while you're on the road, you can still hit up places that have rings that are functional and working and work in with other new talents that are trying to be in your shoes. You know what I mean? It just irritates me because it's like the first person I thought about, and I know that Sasha's always a conversation on this, but I thought about Sasha because she just finished filming a movie, but I also saw her still training. Because that's what Sasha does. She'll go no matter where she's at, she'll take a pit stop and spend time trying to just sharpen her abilities and learn something new. I have no issue with her wanting to learn Shotzi's move. She said that she took a DDT before and that she saw Shotzi do that and that she wanted to do that. Cool, awesome, love that you wanted to do something new, but your excuse for why you couldn't learn it and that it was essentially just on the fly and she just was more focused on the guiding her over the ring thing. I watched that clip 5 times. She didn't even guide her. She just dropped her. She didn't guide shit. She just said that she was focusing on guiding her and oh, sorry that I was focusing on protecting her. No, you didn't. She literally just dropped her and then she just impulsively just fell into place. What the fuck do you mean guiding her? You could have killed her. She could have landed improperly. And I watched. I wanted to make sure I was watching the right move. So I sat there and I watched that clip about 5,000 times and watched it in NXT, another clip of it successfully being done with Bianca or with other talents. And I'm just like, what the fuck did you even do? You didn't sell it, nor did you guide it, nor did you protect her. She's fucking lazy and she's full of excuses. And she irritates me, and I'm sick of her shit. I know this guy go on YouTube, and I shouldn't be swearing this much, but yo, she just gets me. She gets me tight.
She's tight.
She gets me so tight. Bro, she doesn't take nothing about this sport seriously. The fact that you're laughing, oh, everyone wants me to be fired because of this. I guess this warrants me being fired, and she's trying to bring up other people that cause injuries. No, see, these other people, they have a good record. You know, they actually put on good matches. They actually sell for their opponents. And most times than not, the botches that happened were from more extreme spots. You know what I mean? I think she tried bringing up Madcap Moss and she bought a Big E, which, first of all, don't be speaking on Big E, bitch, before I slap you. The fuck? Don't be commenting on Big E. Because now I have to get extra disrespectful on you. No, absolutely not. Literally, she's been progressively fucking lazy. She hasn't done shit for this fucking division. She doesn't care to do more for this division. She doesn't care for pro wrestling, sharpening her tool, none of that. All I got out of that 2 minutes was just her just playing victim. Yeah, she took accountability because she had no choice to because on fucking film. But she just likes to play victim. Everything is everyone else's fault but Ronda. When it's simply Ronda doesn't give a fuck. Ronda doesn't care. Do I think she should be fired because of it? No, I don't think she should be fired, but I think she shouldn't be booked. She shouldn't be booked. She shouldn't be champion. I'm sick of seeing her. I'm sick of seeing the same argument because that means I have to see her. She's terrible.
Mm.
A detriment to women's wrestling, she is a detriment. And it's crazy because like I had so much like, you know, hope and desire for her when she was going against that feud with Nikki Bella. You know, I was just like, oh, I see something with her. I do see something with her. And it's just like I hate her as much as I hate Nikki Bella. Like
Jesus.
I really do. Just a detriment to women's wrestling. Not giving a fuck about nobody but yourself. Going into business for nothing but yourself. And at least Nikki Bella cared for who she hurt. This bitch don't even care. She don't. I'm sorry. That was about a
You're
good
fine.
5 minutes of me ranting on her. You could go. I'm a cool off. Let me have some water.
So, so here's my honest opinion on it. I think that obviously very respectable for her to take accountability for what she did. I think that my like you said, that Ronda Rousey, I think there's a couple things that are like without context, right? Like I feel like it's like, oh well, I guess this warrants me to be fired. I don't think it's a matter of you botching that warrants you to be fired, because people mess up all the time. And yeah, people mess up all the time. Some that are still within the company, some that are not within the company. I just think that for me, it's just the underlying tone of not adding value. And that's my thing, is like, you can mess up. Everybody messes up. I've never stepped in a ring a day in my life, so I don't know. I don't know like how that would go for me. But for me, it's from a business perspective, like, are you adding value the way that you're supposed to be adding value? Ronda Rousey was brought in because yes, she was passionate about
A
pro
damn
wrestling, and
thing.
yes, this is a sport that she wanted to get into. But her stock in 2017, 2018 is insurmountably higher than what it is now. Um, and now there's things that have to be reconsidered. Now, the whole thing about putting over younger talent, the reason why I'm a little bit torn about that is because yes, that is commendable. It's great to want to put over newer, younger talent, right? You just want to give back. But within the past 5 years, you haven't cemented yourself as one of the top 5 in-ring performers in the company when it comes to women alone. And
Mm-hmm.
so when we're talking about putting over talent, the only way that I can see the talent being put over is if it were a segue into that person going into Hollywood, or that segue into a person that's going to have some type of mainstream appeal because of Ronda Rousey's celebrity. I don't see Shotzi doing any movies. I don't see anyone that's going up against Ronda doing anything that is worthy of garnering mainstream media attention. So now it's just like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see the point. I don't see the point. And so, do I believe that she can still be of a valuable asset to WWE? Yes. However, like you said, like, sis got to get in the lab. She has to hone her craft. She has to be better. Because it's no longer like, oh my God, Ronda Rousey is doing wrestling. That little period is over. Now you have to have something that sustains you. That needs to be your in-ring talent. That needs to be your promos. That needs to be, because guess what? Now, are you just another wrestler? No, but you are a wrestler amongst a pool of talent like Bianca Belair, like Sasha Banks, like Charlotte Flair, like Becky Lynch, like Bailey. You know what I mean? Women who have been holding down their respective divisions for years on end. And it's like, okay, it's no longer good enough that you're Ronda Rousey going into wrestling. Now you have to do what you got to do to separate yourself from the pack and make yourself distinct and make yourself valuable. So that was my whole thing on that. I didn't really have a lot to say on Ronda, because I'm very like indifferent when it comes to her, because to me it's just like, I just need to see something from you that's going to make me care. That's all. And
Or do
that can
your job.
happen. Yeah, that too. But want to know what everybody else thinks about this particular situation. So let us know how you feel about the Ronda Rousey explanation and so forth, so on.